Hello, and welcome to the Ocean News Podcast, an audio series taking you through the breaking news and the biggest stories from the oceanographic newsroom. I'm Rob Hutchins, news editor here at Oceanographic Magazine, and in this episode, we're staying in the UK. Hopping on a quick train and heading to the Sussex coastline, where researchers are celebrating marine life in full recovery, and it's all thanks to kelp. So let's dive in. Yes, here in Sussex and 4 years into its landmark marine rewilding project, the largest the UK has ever seen, and the Sussex Kelp Recovery Project is now reporting an increased population in local marine life and positive changes to life on the seabed. From mussels and oysters to bream, all along the Sussex coastline. It's nice to share a story of restoration success from the UK shores, and they don't come more successful than this one. But like all stories of nature restoration, this story actually starts many years ago, when Britain's kelp forests were lush expanses along its rich and diverse coastlines. Sussex kelp forests were no different. Historically, they covered vast areas of the coast, from Selsey to Shoreham. Following a confluence of crises leading to widespread devastation, it was by 2019 that a staggering 96% of this area coverage had been lost. This was largely due to an event of 1987 known in the UK as the Great Storm. Of course, kelp forests have long survived major storms for centuries and beyond that, millennia. However, following years of habitat destruction and a weakening of the systems that helped these forests recover from such a routine event, namely through practices like bottom trawling, the kelp simply struggled to make its return. Being the critical provider of habitat for fish, invertebrates and all manner of marine biodiversity as they are, the impact of the loss of these kelp forests was swiftly felt. It wasn't long after their disappearance that local fisheries and marine life along the coast began to suffer too. In a move to reverse this devastation, a landmark fisheries management bylaw was introduced in March 2021, officially known as the Sussex Inshore Fisheries and Conservation Authority Nearshore Trawling Byelaw. With it came a ban on all bottom trawling across more than 300 square kilometres of Sussex seabed, allowing essential fish habitats, including kelp forests, the chance to recover. That recovery, it is now being reported, appears to have taken hold. Kelp forests are known worldwide for providing a habitat for a rich tapestry of marine life. The forests off the coast of Scotland, for example, play a vital role in an ecosystem rich with such life, including for seals that dwell off the rugged shores. Some 50 years of pressure from bottom trawl fishing, however, and it's no surprise that the kelp forests of the Sussex coastline became degraded, ending as mere shadows of their former glory. Eric Smith, a local freediver from Sussex Underwater, a local group with a shared local knowledge of the Sussex waters, has observed all the changes that Sussex kelp has gone through over the last half a century, noting the shifts in marine life and biodiversity over that time frame. It stood to reason then that after another brutal winter here in the UK, he was apprehensive over what he might find when he returned to the water this season. To his delight, however, what he found was a dramatic increase in marine biodiversity. Most remarkable of all was the new and healthy kelp he encountered, particularly in an area called Shelley Rocks, just 2 miles east of Bognor Regis, a popular UK holiday spot. What was once an area stripped bare by trawlers years ago was now a site of recovery, restoration, and vitally, hope. Hope that the local seabed was finally on its pathway to natural abundance. Part of the Sussex Kelp Recovery Project is its ongoing monitoring and research programme, a combination of innovation and research that enables collaboration between both scientists and divers and the local population of fishermen. Some of the highlights over the 4 years since its launch include new innovation in the species identification process, an area that has been led by the Zoological Society of London and its autonomous reef monitoring systems. With these systems, they have been able to identify more than 180 species now living across the Sussex kelp forests, including habitat-forming oysters, wrosse, and honeycomb worms. Meanwhile, vital observations from local divers have highlighted the notable expansion of mussel beds, the likes of which have not been seen in decades. It's all just further indication, says the Kelp Project, of the many benefits that come when seabed disturbance, the like caused by trawling, is reduced, even stopped. The importance of the reappearance of beds of shelled mollusks, like the mussels, cannot be overstated. They are, after all, essential for the recovery of our underwater forests. The reason being that in the absence of rocky seabeds, where seabeds have been turned over decade upon decade, mussels provide the kind of hard surface that they can latch onto and grow from. Elsewhere, fish numbers that had once plummeted are also bouncing back. Black sea bream was once targeted by trawling, and their nests on the seabed are known to be vulnerable to fishing with bottom-towed gear. But since the protection of the seabed was established 4 years ago, research using baited remote underwater video analysis and observations made by the local fishing community themselves indicate a strong upwards tick in their numbers, essentially a bounce back for the black sea bream. But that's not the only species to have benefited from the Kelp Recovery Project. Other native species are too making their return in greater numbers to the Sussex coastline. Over the 4 years, Dr. Chris Yessen, a benthic ecologist and senior research fellow at the Zoological Society of London and research lead on the Sussex Kelp Project, has watched taupe, angel shark and short-snouted seahorses all re-emerge in the local waters, buoyed, of course, by an expansion of those local mussel beds. He notes that while yes, there is still a long way to go before the area is restored to its former standing, it really is an exciting development to watch nature flourish once more, one that is both rewarding and encouraging for the effort that is yet to come. To maintain the momentum around domestic kelp restoration, the Sussex Kelp Recovery Project will be hosting the UK's first National Kelp Ecology Conference this April, held at the Attenborough Centre at the University of Sussex. The event will bring together national researchers, conservationists and policymakers to explore the very next steps in rewilding our seas. To coincide with the summit, the ocean conservation charity and partner organisation on the recovery project, the Blue Marine Foundation, is set to release a report examining the barriers still needed to be overcome, alongside the optimal conditions required to keep UK kelp recovery on this positive pathway and current trajectory. If you'd like to learn more about kelp recovery projects here in the UK, or other stories on the benefits of a healthy and thriving kelp habitat for biodiversity around the world, head to the Oceanographic Newsroom. This has been the Ocean News Podcast. I've been Rob Hutchins. Thank you for listening.